that you do have an impact on which the White House said, which is support, direct support for Jordan. And back to one of Julie's first questions, you seem to be suggesting that the White House was not aware that the king was in Washington, in large part, to get more support from the administration and the Congress for weapons, right?
Well, no, Ed, the administration is standing squarely behind the people of Jordan and the king, and we are certainly supportive of any efforts that are underway to try to strengthen his national security and to strengthen his ability to make tangible contributions to this broader campaign.
Aware of a request. Are you suggesting that the king in the Oval Office last night didn't ask President Obama for more help?
Well,
or in recent weeks there hasn't been a conversation? Vice President, National Security Advisor? Are you really saying Jordan hasn't asked for more weapons?
Well, what I'm saying is I'm not going to read out any of the detailed conversations, at least in a detailed way, the conversations that the king had while he was here in the United States. As has been reported, he did visit with the President yesterday. He had the opportunity to talk to the Vice President. I know that he spoke to the Secretary of State as well. So we had a number of conversations. I'm not going to read them out in a detailed way.
He wants more weapons. He wants to step up the campaign against ISIS. That's on the record. So, A, did he ask the White House for that support? And B, is the President going to give him that support?
Ed, I don't have a detailed accounting of the conversation that the President had with the king in the Oval Office. And the United States continues to stand with the people of Jordan and our ally, the King of Jordan. As they
stand with them, why can't you say you're going to support and give more weapons? That's what I'm just struggling to understand.
Well, because, Ed, a lot of this requires important coordination. Not just in terms of the work that we have to do with the Congress, but also in terms of the work that we'll do with the Jordanians to ensure that we are providing the actual assistance that they are requesting and that they need.
Okay, and it seems like in a lot of your answers, there doesn't seem to be anything new coming from the White House today in the wake of what happened yesterday. It seems, in the case of King Abdullah, he really seemed to believe this was a game changer. I understand there was a horrible impact on his country, but on the entire coalition. This was a pilot who was working on behalf of a coalition led by this president. So my question is, it seems like the strategy here in terms of defeating ISIS is status quo, that nothing changed yesterday. Is there anything the president is committed to do? Is there anything to step up the campaign against ISIS at all from the White House?
Well, Ed, we have talked about how these kinds of ongoing efforts are going to be difficult, and that it's going to be difficult to measure success or failure in one-day increments. What we're focused on is the longer-term arc. I think the best example I have for this is that, last fall there was extensive, even breathless coverage about the success that ISIL has had, or did have at that time, in making significant inroads into this border village called Kobani. And just over the weekend, we saw news reports that ISIL has been repelled from that village, and that ISIL fighters themselves attributed their retreat to the success of ground operations that were supported by airstrikes from coalition pilots. So that is an indication that, yes, the situation in Kobani was concerning, but over the long term, this administration led the international coalition to implement a strategy that was successful in repelling that ISIL advance. There are any number of similar stories to be told in Iraq. And this is not a matter of sort of doing a minute-by-minute, play-by-play here. This is a matter of staying focused on our broader goal. And one of those goals is keeping together this coalition. And that's why the President has been so clear, and why I'm doing my best to be as clear as I can about our commitment to standing shoulder to shoulder with Jordan as they deal with this terrible tragedy.